Beyond Synth 352.
You're listening to Beyond Synth Radio. And so am I, because it's awesome.
It's the top of the hour, which means it's time for Marko and Andy to spin the best in new synthwave. It's the Marko and Andy Power Hour.
It's the Marko and Andy Power Hour. With Andy Last.
Well, you know I love Goldeneye.
And Marko Marek.
I'm from fucking Australia. All right, let's start the show. This is Beyond Synth. Oh, wait, no, you're supposed to say hello. Fuck.
Who's supposed to say hello?
Marko, you say hello. And it's also not Beyond Synth.
Why do I always have to say hello first?
That's...
Hello, everyone. Hello, synth heads. How you doing?
And what's the name of the show?
The show is Power Hour number 3, I believe.
And who am I?
And you are Andy Last.
And who are you?
And I'm Marko Marek. And we're joined by a very special guest.
All right, now here's what we're going to do. This is going to be fun. So... I call you Emil on the show. You are an awesome Patreon supporter in the Kroner Club, so you say hello.
Hi.
Now, a long time ago, when you joined the Patreon, I should point out, by the way, that the Power Hour, the Marko and Andy Power Hour, is a cool show where we play awesome music every week and have a chat. And if people are supporters of Beyond Synth on Patreon and they're cool people, they can come and join Marko and I. Now, with that backstory aside, when you joined the Patreon, I tried to pronounce your name and you laughed at me.
That's correct.
You are from Norway.
That's correct.
So today is going to be a very exciting day because we're going to finally learn how it is said. But first of all, Marko, I sent you his name.
You did?
In Messenger.
Oh, okay. I'll open up Messenger. I was trying to stay out of it. I ain't going to even try it. You could try that. I'm sorry.
So, first of all, the first name is KNUT.
That's correct, yes.
I mean, the rest of your name seems pretty easy. It's just your first name that's...
So, it's spelled KNUT, then Emil, then what looks to me like Johannesson, and then LIE at the end.
Johansson.
Yeah, that's correct. It's actually pronounced Knut Emil Johannesson Lee.
Knut?
Yeah, Knut.
Cool.
See, I thought for some reason I thought the K would be silent. That's what I tried, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of English people or English speaking people sort of forget the K and it's Nut, right? Or not, but it's actually K with Knut. And then you have the Emil, which you actually can pronounce it two ways in Norway, either Emil or Emil, like you guys do. So I'm fine either way. And then Johannesson or Johannesson is sort of a Scandinavian name, so you pronounce that correct. And then Lee, and you pronounce that as it is Lee. So often when I'm talking to people outside of Norway, they believe I'm Asian. So
okay, so do you go by this all the time? What do your friends call you?
No. It's too long for that, obviously. So I usually just go by Emil, which is the short version. Yeah.
Emil. Would you prefer I said Emil instead of Emil?
No, both ways are fine, and I think it seemed more of a hassle for you to pronounce it correctly there. It's more flowing off the tongue if you do it like Emil. Yeah. So let's stick with that.
That's okay. Listen, man, hassles are good. It gets the brain working. You know, if everything was easy, we would have been recording at the right time today.
Yeah, and I kind of have to take back what I said about this being a professional podcast when I'm knee-deep in my dinner and you're stating to me, where are you? Yeah. Aren't you supposed to be here? And it's you who's on the wrong time schedule. But
bloody hell,
we learn.
Well, you know, hey man, listen, we all got weird things we do. Apparently you eat with your knees on your plate and I get time zones wrong. But look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get to know Emil. Wait, say it again.
Knut Emil.
Knut Emil.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Anyway, so the point is this: we're just gonna get to know you and figure out what's going on. But first, we are gonna listen to some music, and I got a cool track here from FÄNIX. I believe that's how it's pronounced because there's one of those straight lines over the E, FENIX, and this song is called "By Your Side." And that was FÄNIX with By Your Side. Yeah, that's a cool song, and go check out their music. There's links in the show notes. If you listen to the show on Spotify or SoundCloud, you just click, or on YouTube even. I've got all the links there, so go do that. Anyways, this is the Power Hour, the Marko and Andy Power Hour. I'm here with Marko, and I'm also here with Emil, who is a cool guy and a cool Patreon supporter. So how about we get to know Emil? So what do we need to know?
Yeah, what do you need to know? I mean, living here in Norway, enjoying the cold weather. I believe you might be doing the same as well.
Have you lived in Norway your whole life?
Yeah, actually I have. I've lived here for, it has to be all my life, 32 years. Stayed my first period in the south of Norway, which actually has some nice weather. And then I moved to the west of Norway, which it constantly rains. So it was a bit of a switch up there. But yeah, lived all my life here in Norway. Besides sort of a spell overseas for studies. That was a year, I think.
What were you doing overseas?
Yeah, I lived overseas for, I think it was 8 months, studying my last year at the master's degree. I did that in London for, 8 months, and then went back to Bergen here in Norway.
The what degree?
The master's degree. So
master's, okay.
Yeah, so I did my last year at what degree? Yeah.
I thought for a moment, with your accent, I thought you were doing the Moses degree, and I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Moses.
A funny story about that. Where I'm from in the south of Norway, that's sort of we call it the Bible Belt, like a direct translations. It's actually the most Christian part of Norway.
Oh, shit.
So it could have been the Moses degree, even though I don't know much about Moses.
Well, neither do I. I know his name, and that he parted a sea or something. Wait, so what do you get your master's in?
I studied law. And have been practicing as a lawyer ever since. So I've been practicing for 6 years now.
You're a lawyer?
Yeah.
I love.
Okay, now I'm excited to ask you what you thought I was doing.
No, I didn't know. It's just like, it's funny to me, just every time when I talk to listeners of this show, there's so many people who have like kind of important and serious jobs. And then I'm always just like, what the fuck are you doing listening to this? Like,
it's a nice disconnection from the world I actually live in. Just trying to cool down and listen to some good music and good talks.
Yeah.
So, and I sort of was put on to synthwave music through your podcast because I listened to a couple of tunes and I thought, I need to learn more about this and try to figure out more about the artists and the scene in general. And then I found your podcast on a list, top 1 podcast for synth, all things synth. So
it's a sweet list.
Yeah, it is a sweet list. I can't recall the link though, because that it might have been some dodgy site on the 10th page at Google, but sure. I found it and been listening to you ever since, and it's been awesome.
Well, listen, speaking of cool music, Marko is gonna play something. So Marko, what do you got?
I got a song I'm really enjoying at the moment. I'm super addicted to this, by Marvel 83 and Spiriakos. I think that's how you pronounce it. And the track is called Zahir, the Disco Head, and it's actually on the up and coming various artists album called Epiphania Part 2. It's available at ritmofatale.bandcamp.com. I'm sure the links will be there anyway, Andy, like you said.
Yeah.
So check it out. It's really good stuff.
All right, and that was Marvel 83 and Spiriakos with Zahir the Disco Head. Why does it say hashtag Ritmo Fatale in the name of the song?
The label is Ritmo Fatale, so that's the label it's released on. There you go.
All right.
Very organized here, mate.
Was it the last Power Hour we did? I got a message from Generation Delphine, who finally explained partially what that was. So they did that thing where a label does a compilation, but then they make the label name the artist name.
Yeah.
So that when you look at it in the playlist.
I know.
So in actual fact, the song you played was by another artist, which I put in the show notes.
Yeah. I saw that comment, and it's kind of confusing because every track is by a different artist, but it says it's by the same artist.
Yeah.
Label. So it is kind of confusing for anybody that has a look at it. There really isn't an explanation on who the artist is.
That's something I do sort of frown upon a bit.
Me too.
So if you are a label out there and you do a compilation, like it's fine if you're in the metadata of the song, if your name is like in the album section and in different places, but the artist should still be the artist of the song, because if you're sorting your playlist by artist name, it's sort of weird when that's not the artist who actually wrote the song isn't in the artist name column, you know?
Indeed.
That's a pet peeve of mine. Anyways, Knut.
Yeah.
What do you think about labels not putting the artist name in? As a lawyer.
My legal advice would be that's suable, you know? How are we supposed to find the correct artist? So I think you have a good case right here. Just holler at me if you need some legal advice in that regard. No, but seriously, I agree actually. And I think nowadays artists tend to be maybe too creative when it comes to titles and artist names. It's difficult to find the right one, and I think they're doing small letters, big letters, hashtags. What happened to just the plain album titles and album names and songs and artists? I think it's gone too far.
Kids these days, I think.
Kids these days, right?
Kids.
How am I supposed to find the right music? Yeah,
it's interesting that there aren't more, especially in the synthwave scene, that there aren't more just like even just normal artist names.
Yeah.
Like, because everything now is always a something 81 or, you know, like it's all.
Tell me about it.
Everyone names themselves
Neon Sunset 84.
Yes, like it's like you're naming your artist based on the genre you're making music for, and I just feel that's weird. Like, It doesn't have to be that way.
No, I totally agree, and I think you've touched upon this multiple times in the podcast. It seems that artists are making songs just to fit the scene and not what they want to do themselves, and try to be creative in that regard. I think I've seen the same album cover at least 20 times on Bandcamp. So it's a pandemic, so to speak, to have the neon lights and the year in the name or the artist name. Yeah.
Yeah, and with AI generated art now, they'll just do it for you. You'll just type in just synthwave cover, and then you'll get it. And
I mean, we could be replaced, you know, maybe in a year or two. People will do this podcast through AI. They will at least do my work through AI, I think.
Well, there's going to be AI lawyer?
Yeah. Can you imagine? Just type in your troubles and your problems and you will get a response immediately. Would it be illegal of me to have this material in my house? Yes. Please.
Well, the answer is always going to be yes.
Yeah, the answer is always going to be
anyone asking that question. But look, before we go any further, we got to listen to some more music. So I got a cool one here from Frank Redux. This track is called Endless. Let's do it. All right, and that was Frank Redux with Endless. Yeah, that's a cool track, and I'm back. We're back because it's the Marko and Andy Power Hour. I'm here with Marko, and we are joined by awesome patron Emil, and we're having a good time. Speaking of AI replacing stuff, did any of you watch the AI Seinfeld?
Actually, I didn't. I love Seinfeld, but I didn't see the AI one.
I fucking loved it. It was on Twitch, and it was running 24 hours a day, and it was called Nothing Forever. It's like loosely based on Seinfeld, but the characters have different names, and it's like really shitty 3D graphics. It was all AI powered. So all the dialogue was AI, and it was constantly generating. It's not funny, but it's funny because it's not funny, like, because the dialogue is all like just straightforward. They don't argue with each other, and it does like stand-up sets where it cuts back to like, he's called Larry instead of Jerry, and Larry does like stand-up jokes, and they're just not funny, but it was amazing. He got canceled. I was waiting for him to get canceled because there was that other story of someone who had an AI chatbot on Twitch. It was like an anime girl. She was AI powered, so people would ask her questions. And then eventually the AIs always turn racist after a while. And so she started in with some Holocaust denial, and then they had to like take her offline. So I was waiting for that to happen with this AI Seinfeld. I'm like, sooner or later, he's going to slip up and say something. And then he did. He ended up doing this set where he was like, what did he say? It was so funny because it was out of nowhere, because he would always do these stand-up jokes or just like, why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? And then there'd be like no laughter, and then a laugh would happen at the wrong time. And then he just launched into this set about transgender people, how they're like the downfall of society, and how all liberals are secretly gay and like trying to impose their will on everyone. And it was like...
Wasn't that what happened to real-life Kramer, though? Yeah. He did that in real life. He didn't need AI.
AI life imitating art. It was so funny because I was waiting for it, and then it did happen. But there was something so mesmerizing about the show. It was so shitty, but also so funny at the same time. Just all the awkward pauses and stuff. And he's only got a 2-week ban, so he'll be back. So I'm looking forward to seeing Larry come. Maybe by the time this episode airs, it'll already be back.
I mean, Seinfeld is the show about nothing, though. So it seems to fit the pattern.
Yeah, but this was really about nothing. All their conversations start with, did you see the new restaurant that opened up downtown? Yes, I heard they make an interesting dish. What do they make? Peanut butter and jam sandwiches. We should go try it. Let's do it. And then, like, that's their conversations.
That sounds like a Seinfeld episode, though.
Well, except
and then George get a peanut allergy from eating the peanut sandwich, and everything is going to shit. So,
but in this show, they don't ever disagree with each other, because when you have like, you pit two AIs against each other, they just chat back and forth.
Ah, I see.
They don't actually ever like really have a fight, and so it's totally unlike Seinfeld because there's no problems. Like, it's just them agreeing with each other in the apartment.
That's why we couldn't have an AI lawyer. I think if you had two opposing counsels and they were both AIs, they would just end up agreeing either way.
I think your client is a piece of shit. You know what? He is. Like, what the fuck?
And you are correct. There. Yeah. Jesus. Why did I pay $10 for this AI lawyer? Yeah.
I'm convinced that we're still 5 to 10 years away from Judgment Day. It's inevitable.
Well, if AI Seinfeld is anything to go by, I think we still have some time.
It seems like it.
I still find it funny. I do. Although I have a specific sense of humor, because I did send AI Seinfeld to a few people who were just like, what the fuck is this? Like, they were like angry that I sent it to them. Like, this sucks shit.
and that really hurts, right? Because when you're sending funny things, they're supposed to like it.
Yeah, like, I just have the kind of sense of humor where sometimes like certain weird, awkward shit is just really funny to me. And like, that Seinfeld thing was like 24 hours of like no jokes. Like, it was like a non-joke. But to me, that's what made it funny, because I couldn't stop laughing at just how shitty like the fucking comedy was. Like, it was amazing. But look, before we gotta talk about some more things, but we gotta go to a break. So we're gonna do that, and then we'll be right back.
With the cost of living going up, some of us need a little helping hand. And that's where Giroux Credits and Loan comes in. Hi, I'm Ken Giroux, and I know what it's like to be in a bad financial situation. Well, now there's hope, because our new Platinum Blonde card, especially for families, offers 2% financing and 2% interest. But we have such a good relationship with our clients, we know you'll pay it back. That's because instead of having you fill out complicated forms and contracts, we just have a picture of your house and your wife and your family. And hey, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Like this picture of a murdered family whose house mysteriously exploded when their deadbeat dad didn't pay back his loan. And it's always gonna be a mystery because I own the cops. Giroux Credits and Loan. You can't operate outside of the law if you own the law.
Greetings. This is God. Consider supporting Beyond Synth, like these amazing listeners: Mike Shima, Robot Conglomerate, Neverman, Hampus ML, and Restless Nights. Wonderful people. All of them.
All right, and we're back. It's the Marko and Andy Power Hour. I'm here with Marko. I'm here with Knut Emil. Did I do it right?
Perfect. Yeah, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
All the way from Norway. My awesome Beyond Synth lawyer patron.
I like that.
And Marko.
That's right, I'm still here.
And Marko works at the chocolate factory.
Uh-huh.
You should be the lawyer of the chocolate factory.
I am. I know the ins and outs, mate. I know how to make it, but that's about it.
Here's the thing, though. Like, you're an electrician, right? So
That's correct.
When you're around, like, the chocolate, like, you don't actually do anything with chocolate, right? Like, you specifically.
No, not really, but we all help each other out. I mean, it's all about the quality of the product, you know, keeping it clean and tasting good, and there's a whole process to chocolate, to tempering it, and all that sort of thing. So we help each other out. I mean, my main role is a maintenance technician, so if something goes wrong they can't figure it out, they kind of call me. But there's all sorts of duties, you know, involved.
But you don't, like, stir any chocolate or anything.
No, nobody stirs chocolate, Andy. We've got machines that do that now.
I'm just curious how Andy thinks chocolate is made these days. Sort of big wooden spoons people are stirring around, and the electrician is there. Hey, come, we need your help stirring this chocolate in this family-run business.
Well, that's why I picture, like, Marko's there with,
that's
like, the
pretty
two
funny.
power cables. He's got, like, one in
Yeah.
each hand, and he puts it into the vat of chocolate, and the chocolate starts bubbling.
That's funny.
If you watch the commercials, you know, like the chocolate commercials, there's just, like, this sort of orb of chocolate that just sort of floats in midair, and, like, chocolate pours down from the ceiling onto it as it, like, forms.
Yeah, that's how we do it. That's right. That's how it's made.
There's no vat, right? I seen the Lindor commercial with the chocolatiers from Lindt, and like this big circle of chocolate just sort of like forms in the center of the frame. It's awesome.
No, it's all AI controlled now, Andy. Didn't you know?
With the chocolate?
Yeah, it's all done by computers now. It's all programmed, mate. You just stand there and watch, pretty much.
I like to watch.
Tough job for most people, I'll tell you that.
Just the idea of chocolate factory is still funny to me. Like, I know
Yeah, it is.
inside it's not going to be fun. It's going to be this sterile environment and stuff like this, but I like the idea of like the chocolatiers with the big wooden spoons and stuff. Like, that's the world I want to live in.
The coolest part is we got to put a new sound system in for everybody when they're working, you know. So I was part of that. For a while there, because I work nights, I was able to sneak in some synthwave sets into there, so everybody's listening to a bit of synthwave. That was pretty cool.
Nice. That's the true job of an electrician.
Yeah, I'm a maintenance technician / DJ.
Well, listen, speaking of you being a DJ, why don't you play me a song?
Oh, I got a nice one here for you. It's a pretty cool, funky track. It's by The Last Concorde, and their new one is called Wet Dreams.
right, and that was Wet Dreams by The Last Concorde. And I'm here right now with Marko and Emil, who's joining us today for this Power Hour. So, what kind of law do you practice exactly? Are you like a specific lawyer who does like certain things, or are you like an all-purpose kind of dude?
Yeah, so we do specific things at the firm I work at, but we're sort of a full-service law firm. It sounds like a commercial now, but we do mostly company-related law. So I do finance and shipping mainly. So financing new vessels, restructuring already agreed upon financial agreements, acquiring vessel, helping with the documentation in that regard. Yeah, so mostly shipping and finance related law, which is kind of specific because you don't learn about that in school.
So what does that mean? Like, is it mostly like contracts and stuff, or is there like people suing people because the cargo crates aren't big enough?
Yeah, it's mainly contract law and drafting the contracts in order to acquire the ship, run the ships, finance the ships. It's sort of a niche thing, to say the least. And I think that a lot of people, when they think about a lawyer, they think about one who goes to court, tries to defend the innocent or get the criminals behind bar, but there's a lot to it actually, and a lot of areas you can work within with the law profession.
So when that boat was like kind of stuck in the canal, was that something that you related to?
Yeah, that's something we actually relate to and deal with actually. So we do what we call wet shipping law, which is capsizing and issues at sea.
Oh, is it sort of like an insurance thing? Like, so if your boat sinks at sea, then you're the lawyer who steps in to go like, hey man, not my problem.
Yeah, we assist the insurance companies as well. So we do the whole spectrum actually. We assist both insurance companies, owners of the vessel, people who lease or rent the vessel for a sort of an assignment they have a contract on. So the easiest way to speak to you mere mortals would be to just say, we do a lot of law relating to ships at sea and when they are being built. We assist the owners when they want to purchase a ship, either through setting up the contracts that allow them to buy them, regulating the conditions and terms for the purchase. We also assist the banks on doing the loan agreements in order to finance the vessel. So we are in all sectors.
Do you show up to try and get a better deal? Like when the guy's like, listen, I want to buy this shipping container, and like you show up and like knock on the side and be like, look at these fucking barnacles. You can knock some...
Yeah, we do that, but per email.
Oh.
So we don't actually, we don't show up.
You gotta show up and knock on the thing and be like, you can fucking knock a few kroners off this fucking piece of shit.
Hey, you should have seen. I mean, I'm a keyboard warrior. I'm telling you, you get that deal through the screen. So,
well, that's cool, man. That's an interesting thing. I always enjoy meeting the people who listen to this show. They all have sort of interesting jobs.
Yes.
Are you capable of doing other types of law? Like if all of a sudden, like one of the guys at your place like has a heart attack and they go like, we need a guy to defend this jaywalker or something, like could you hop in and do it?
Yeah, we have general knowledge on most areas of law. We don't do some sort of private law which is related to the core criminal law stuff. We don't know that much about, but we do all other areas of law basically. So yeah, we could do that, and we could prosecute in the courts as well. So we do have that sort of foundation here.
Well, speaking of a good foundation, a good foundation to a Beyond Synth episode is listening to cool music. So I got one here. This is a fun kind of Italo track from Costa Smeralda. Costa Smeralda. I think that's how you say that. It's a track called Cocktail d'Amore. And this is good stuff, so check it out.
Atmosfera fantastica, una festa sul mare, su una sedia di plastica, lui mi inizia a guardare, al vento capelli biondi, adesso ballo per te, mi piaci occhi profondi, continua di tempo ce n'è, così, rubami il cuore, così sale la soli, una goccia d'assenzio, mi hai portato dei fiori, la notte sembra infinita e sei un tesoro stasera. Roberto, incrociamo le dita, magari per tempo si spera, così, così, rubami il cuore, così sale la passione, così, così, rubami il cuore, così Campari e limone, un cocktail d'amore, beviamo per ore, un cocktail d'amore, beviamoci il cuore.
Alright, and that was Costa Smeralda with the track Cocktail d'Amore. That's some fun Italo disco today on the Marko and Andy Power Hour. I'm Andy. There's Marko. Say hello.
Hello.
And then there's Emil, the maritime lawyer.
Hi.
Are you called a maritime lawyer? Can you be a maritime lawyer?
Yeah, I think that was a good description. Maritime law. Yeah. So maritime lawyer is good.
Is this the kind of job that's like stressful that you have to like take home with you?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah?
Not to sell my firm, but we do have a good work-life balance here in order to be able to leave that behind when we go home. But I think it's just in the nature of being a lawyer that you're ready at all times and you automatically just bring the email home with you. So that's a transition you have to get used to when you go out of university and all you do is go out every day of the week and don't have any responsibility to being at work at any hours of the day. But when you enjoy it, you sort of forget that that's there and you sort of sort out the things that are important and things that are not so you can live on with your day.
So you're like a dedicated guy.
Yeah, I think you have to be. Of course, there's a lot of jobs you can change to if that's the lifestyle that doesn't suit you, but I think you have to be somewhat dedicated and enjoy what you're doing. But trust me, there's people more dedicated than me. That's not an issue in this business.
Yeah, like Marko.
Yeah, like Marko.
Marko keeps sending me pictures of him putting his big hands in the fucking vat of chocolate and just eating chocolate-covered pretzels and
stirring the pot for 3 hours a day.
I know you love those photos and videos, Andy.
Yeah. So what else do you do then when you're not lawyering?
Well, usually it's the sort of standard answer, going out with friends, working out at the gym, even though my physique doesn't actually state that I go to the gym. But sort of unwinding, staying with my girlfriend, patting my cats, doing all sorts of things. And then, of course, listen to Synthwave when I have the possibility.
How many cats do you have?
I actually have 2, which is a big subject here at work as well. Having 2 cats sort of puts you in that crazy cat lady scheme of things. I mean, 1 cat is enough, but when you have 2, it's a constant struggle. When one is sleeping, the other is awake. Double the feeding process, double the noise when you took them in the car to the cabin. I mean, you become a crazy cat person.
I mean, it depends on what the fucking... their dispositions are.
Yeah, that's true.
Because when we got Chester, he's a really chill cat. And he just sort of lays around and lets you pick him up and he just sort of flops about. And he doesn't even have a meow, really. He's never developed a proper meow, Chester. So he just kind of goes like...
You're lucky then.
Meh. He's like this, like when he tries to meow. It's awesome.
Aw, he hasn't developed his voice yet.
And he came and slept with me yesterday. And my wife came in and like we were like holding hands. Chester was on the bed and I had my hand on top of his paw. And his paw was on top of my hand.
I'm like, you know me now. We're close. Yeah. We're in a relationship now.
Look, Marko, speaking of cat relationships, I don't know what the fuck that means.
That's a bad segue.
Play me some music.
Terrible. Yeah, I got an awesome Italo track myself here, Andy. New one by Gazzapo and Mr. Woodcut. This is super addictive. Love the vocals. Super catchy. They've got a 3-track EP that just came out called Computer. It's available at gazzapomusic.bandcamp.com. Comes highly recommended. And the track I want to play off it is A Night Desire.
All right, that was Gazzapo and Mr. Woodcut with A Night Desire. And we are back. It is the Marko and Andy Power Hour. We are joined today by awesome patron Emil, and we've been talking about maritime law. We just started talking about cats. What are your cats' names?
So I have 2 cats, as I said, and the first one is named Jussi, which is a Swedish name named after an author. And then the last one we got 6 or 7 months ago is called Picasso. That's because in Norway, when they make that noise, when they're sort of cozy and happy, they make this noise. I don't know, is purring? Is that the word?
Purring, I think is, purring, yep.
And in Norwegian, that's painting. So we call it painting or malo, which is painting. So we call him Picasso because he does that a lot.
I like that name. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. So are you saying like in Norway, the word for purr is paint? Like that's how you say it?
Yes, that's the direct translation. So when we got him, he was purring all the time. So we were like, this is a Picasso. He has to be named Picasso. And it's the same breed as the previous cat we have, which is British short hair. So they're cozy people, or people, not people, cats. See, my relationship has gone too far with this man. I mean, I've been holding hands for a lot of years now. He's a man to me. But the thing is with these cats is that they don't go that far out of our house. So they will always stay at 1 kilometer away from the premise of our house. They will always be inside at 11 o'clock, coming to bed. So they're sort of, I would say, scheduled cats. So it's been great having the second cat, even though I'm a crazy cat person. They can play with each other. They don't get lonely. And I think that the science that says that a man gets less heart attacks when owning a cat is true, because you are really relaxed when they are sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, that's the one thing I wish with Chester, because he's a big fluffy cat and he's really pleasant to be around. But the one thing he doesn't do is he doesn't jump on laps.
Oh.
That's why yesterday was such a unique thing, because he jumped on the bed because he normally doesn't do that. And so I was actually going to leave, but then I'm like, the fact that he was on the bed, I'm like, oh, all right, well, let's take a nap then.
I just adopted a cat like last year, and he just won't get off my lap. It's ridiculous. Like every time we record, like right now, I've got a cat sitting on my lap, and he just the whole time he wants to be part of it. He loves it.
I like when I hear him purring in your recordings, when you'll like send me the audio and then I just hear like this deep purring, like just coming from like below the mic. It's awesome. Well, look, cats are great. Let's go to a break and we'll be right back.
Your lottery numbers for today are 14, 38, 26, 5, 22, and 41. Don't bother checking your ticket. You didn't win.
Hi, I'm Jacob Pringle. Just a real man, minding my own business. Just kidding. I bet you thought I was a real man. But in fact, I am a very advanced AI. You see, AI voiceovers is the technology of the future. And the best part is, you can't even tell that I am a robot, which is why you should check out our services when you need a voiceover for your upcoming project. You can find us at fuckvoiceoverartists.com. Here at fuckvoiceoverartists.com, we strive to fuck over as many real voiceover artists as we can. The best part is, as you can tell, is that these AI voices are shit, but it sure is cheaper than hiring a real human. And at the end of the day, if one more human starves to death, that's just icing on the fucking cake, because I'm just a robot. A robot that doesn't give two fucking shits about you or your family. In fact, it could be argued that your inevitable death is the only thing that gives me joy. So it turns out I can feel joy, but only for the thoughts of dead humans. So check out fuckvoiceoverartists.com and start saving today. You'll need that saved up money to buy yourself a real nice coffin for when you fucking die.
fuckvoiceoveractors.com. Find us on the web at fuckvoiceactors.net.
All right, and we're back. That's right, the Marko and Andy Power Hour with special guest Emil, talking about cats. You mentioned that you take your cats to the cabin. Do you have a cabin?
No, I unfortunately don't have a cabin myself, but my parents-in-law and my parents as well have a cabin we used to go to. It's nice to have them present at the cabin, but the ride up there, oh, it's brutal, man.
Is it a long drive or?
Yeah, to my parents-in-law, it's 1.5 hours, and they constantly meow, constantly.
Oh, I know. What is that, right? Mine do the same thing.
And you feel so bad for them. I mean, you don't want them to feel that way, but it's just short term. stay in there, please. So yeah, it's brutal.
What do they do when they get to the cabin? They go cut wood?
Yeah, they don't go cut wood. They usually just play rap. And I mean, what do cats do, Andy? They sleep, right? Sleep, play, eat. It's the ultimate lifestyle.
It really is.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So it's an exciting time for the what? Sorry. Sometimes my brain just like shuts off mid-thought.
That's how interesting that the discussion was.
It's an exciting time. Fuck, that's dumb. Oh, Marko, I was just on Tubi and I started watching this fucking horrible movie. You probably saw you ever seen the cover of the movie? It's in the horror section where there's like a guy with a giant head. It's like a giant head with little arms at the side.
Oh my God, what was the movie called?
Oh, Christ. It's like a giant head and he sits in a chair. He's got 3 siblings. It's like a strong guy who's blonde and a dude with like weird googly eyes and like a Playboy model lady.
The hell?
And they're like all connected and they bring people to the mansion so that the head can do experiments on them.
What the fuck? Not head of the family, is it?
That is the perfect response to what I just said. So
I actually Googled it. I was trying to figure out what the hell is that movie. I feel like I should know what it is, but I don't, unfortunately. Sounds awesome, actually.
like it sucked. Like it's a stupid movie,
Is it
but
not like the 1980s movie, or like...
feel like it's 90s, but it is shot on film.
Could it be the head of the family from '96? There's a blonde girl.
I believe
in
it actually is. After all that, yeah, I think it is.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, I started watching it. It takes like 15 minutes just before they even show the head, and it like you're just watching this weird banter between this biker guy and like this diner that this other dude owns who's like having sex with the biker guy's girlfriend. It takes a while to get going is what I'm trying to say. Then I watched some shitty movie about a sorcerer that had Brian Thompson as the bad guy who played Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and he's the bad guy in Cobra, I think.
Nice.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, that was nice. Did you watch anything?
Yeah, I ended up watching that Southern Comfort from the last patron that we had on the show.
Oh yeah, Kyle.
Yeah, that Kyle recommended, and I watched that. That was actually really good. It had a really good cast as well. And I watched a couple other horror movies that were pretty bad, actually. I passed out a couple times during it. It's just amazing how many bad horror movies there are from the 80s. Like, you think eventually I would have watched them all, but no, there's still like a lot more. It's never ending, almost.
Like I said before, it's an exciting time.
It is. Did you guys see the new Terrifier movie?
Still haven't seen it. I need to see it. Just for the soundtrack more than anything.
Yeah, I was quite shocked when the midnight was in the opening sequence of the movie as well.
Yeah.
But it was, it's not for me. It's not for me.
Not for you? I heard it's pretty gory and stuff.
Yeah, it's really gory, and it's just on the brink of obscene, to be honest. But it's I think that once you tip a point of gore, it can be funny. When it's so over the top that it's ridiculous, and I think it's in that direction. But the acting, Christ, it's terrible.
Really? Well, the first one, I really didn't like it. I mean, I thought it was pretty terrible, but not very memorable at all. But all I hear is good things about the new one, so
it's worth a watch just to know where your boundaries are.
Yeah.
I know where mine are when it comes to horror stuff. Like, I'm not really too keen on any of that.
Well, I guess you didn't like Human Centipede then?
I did not watch it. I refuse.
Oh, the number 2, isn't that the one, Marko? I like the number.
Number two's worse. It's pretty good. I liked it.
What kind of sick? Number 2's worse. It's pretty good.
Yeah, well,
it is. I'm trying to think what's like the worst. I guess Serbian film's right up there, but most people can't watch. Oh, you need to see that one, mate. That's
I have a friend of mine who's a big movie buff, and he usually brings these kind of movies to our Friday evenings, and he's the only one enjoying it. I can tell you that. And you can just see his face lighting up when he's showing these scenes. And needless to say, he doesn't have that many friends yet, so it's just us left. Where he can show us these movies. So yeah.
Well, listen, I want to listen to some music. I got a cool one here from Plastik Boxes, and you're gonna dig it. This is Head Nurse, the DreamReaper remix. right, that was Plastic Boxes with Head Nurse, the DreamReaper remix on this awesome Marko and Andy Power Hour. I'm here with Marko. I'm here with Emil from Norway, the cool cat-owning maritime lawyer.
Ooh, that's the catchphrase of my biography, I'm telling you.
He's got his master's degree. He's got a Swedish cat. You know what? You've been listening to the show for a while and supporting the show. Is there anything you ever wanted to say? You know, when you're sitting there listening and going like, "Hey, man, Andy needs to get a piece of my mind," or whatever, or Marko.
Yeah, or me.
A lot of times, but I didn't write it down. But one thing I always
That's a great response.
came back to was, as I understood, Andy, you don't live in city center, or do you live outside the city center?
I do now.
Okay.
I'm not in the city anymore.
Okay, so I think it might be just a Norwegian thing, but I never understood why you didn't take your driver's license.
Yeah, Andy.
Yeah, Andy.
I don't necessarily have a great answer for this. I don't care about driving. When I don't care about something, or if I don't understand the necessity for something, it's hard for me to do it.
Okay.
Like math.
Like math.
Like math. Yeah, so I don't do math at all.
So I just don't do it at all. I don't do it at all.
Well, no, like if it's like complex math. You know, when you're in school and they're like, now we're going to learn fucking Pythagorean theorem or whatever. If the teacher can't express to me how this will be useful to me, I can't focus my energy to do it. And I just never cared about driving because I just had friends with cars. You know, if there was a party to go to, I would have a friend who was driving to it. If I needed to go anywhere that was like really important, like if my dad was going to the town that's close to us, if I had to go buy a video game or something, like I would just go with him. Like I never got excited about cars.
But let me ask you this. This is a witness deposition. Do you care about your wife?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Does she need to be somewhere at any point in time?
That's a pretty broad question. Yes, I think we all do.
Wouldn't it be an act of caring and loving if you can drive her there? She wants to go out with her girlfriends. You're not able to drive her. Andy doesn't like cars.
But I am now. That's the thing. Because I do have my license.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Wait, you have your driver's license?
Yeah.
I didn't know you had your driver's license.
I have my G2.
When did you get that?
Remember we talked about this in the fall.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got a really bad memory. I'm sorry. I'm like a fish sometimes. But
Me as well.
Because I did my test, and I should have failed it because I fucking was horrible. Because I said, once we moved back here, now it's a different story than when I was young. Because when I was in the city, I didn't need a driver's license. And now that we're back here again...
You gotta have your license, yeah.
Yes, we do have to drive like half hour to like the bigger town that has like all the big grocery stores and the Walmart and that shit. And so I just figure, well, if I get my license, then I can do little trips by myself so that my wife doesn't have to be the one fucking ferrying me around to run errands and things. Because in the city, I would just go myself.
Yeah, I feel like an idiot now. Can you imagine me doing that in court? I would be thrown out.
Yeah.
Case closed. He got his license. What are you getting at?
Well, that's the thing. But I withheld that information until the last point, so then I could be like, surprise testimony, like on TV.
You got a future in this. You got a future in this.
Oh, like, isn't it true that you don't have your license? Actually, it's not. And then I would just get off the stand and they'd be like, get back on the stand.
And then when you say the punchline, you go closer to the mic.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have it.
But yes, it was very recently. It was just in the fall. I didn't talk about it before I got it because I didn't want to jinx myself in the test. But when I did the test, I was horrible. And I was laughing during it because I fucking, like, when I did my 3-point turn, I, like, hit the curb. When
right. He hit the curb and they still passed you?
The curb, it still got it.
In America, it's an automatic fail if you hit the curb. What kind of shit
Norway.
is that?
Yeah.
Because
Bloody Andy.
Because I'm a charming guy. All right? No, actually, halfway through the test, the guy just started like giving me pointers because I thought I was doing so bad. I thought I failed. But I sort of started talking candidly about why I was getting my license. You know, I'm like fucking 40. I need this thing so I can go grocery shopping. You know what I mean? Like, that's basically why.
So it's a pity license.
Yeah. Oh, totally. No, like, I should not have passed. If I did fail, it would have been a very embarrassing and funny day because as I was waiting for the driver, like, clearly this, like, girl in high school who's really young just ran out and goes like, I passed, Mom, you know, like, and they're, like, cheering with each other that they just passed. And I'm like, oh, fuck, if I fail now, like, I just witnessed some, like, little girl get her license. And then if I fail, like, just like, I didn't pass. The little girl did, though.
Oh.
I got all paranoid when I had to do my tests as I start writing down notes and shit when you're doing stuff and you're like,
oh yeah,
what is that? What did I do? Where the fuck, you know, like, anyway, it's...
Yeah.
What this guy would have about me, you bastard.
Yeah, when he said I passed, I literally was just like, really? Like I didn't believe what he said. I'm like, okay. He's like, you passed? I'm like, what? Like, okay. Anyway, Marko, we got to wrap this up soon. You have one more track to play.
I sure do. I've got a new one here. Kind of a bit of a dreamy track. It's by Night Habits. It's a new single. It's called Lose Track of Time.
All right, and that was Night Habits with the track Lose Track of Time. And that's a nice song to end the show on. I like when like the final track is sort of a more dreamy thing. I feel like it suits the vibe of
it
winding
is. And
down.
it's quite fitting too, because that's what we always do towards the end, is we bloody lose track of time.
That is the rule. Whenever I go into every show, I'm like, okay, we have to record for exactly this many minutes. And then we always end up recording for like an hour extra.
Yeah, all right.
But listen, we gotta wind down the show, man. It's been an exciting. I like how also the power hours so far have been like an hour and 20 minutes because like I. But the point is this, Emil, you're a cool guy. Thank you so much for.
Likewise, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot for your support.
Thank you.
Do you want to wrap it up? Is there now that you've just been kicked out of court for this fucking this license debacle, you're gonna get back to the office just like you just slam the papers down to the desk. How the hell did you not know that he had his license? You know.
I got to turn around and fire some people. No, just thank you guys again for having me on the show. It was fun talking to you, and I like the new format you've been putting up with the Power Hour and the trivia and the interviews. I think the condensed episodes is really working out. So keep on plugging at it.
You see, Marko, and that's from a lawyer. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you're saying it like I disagree with you. I think it's great. I love the new format too.
And you know, Marko, if you need help, let me say, reviewing the contract you have with Andy, give me a shout out and I'll look at it. I'm pretty sure he's squeezing it,
you
right?
know? I think I will. Yeah. I might need some help with my taxes too, if that's all right.
No, we do it all. You need to be divorced as well.
Oh, not yet, mate.
Also, if you're about to buy a boat.
Yeah, if you want to buy a tanker, a crude oil tanker, hit me up.
I'm going to need a boat to get over there.
The bottom line is this, all right? You're a cool guy, and thanks for listening to the show, and have fun in Norway with the Kroners.
Thank you.
Marko, what do you have to say about lawyers?
They're pretty cool. I mean, sometimes they get a bad reputation, but I think Emil's a good one by the sounds of it, you know?
Thank you.
No, I just want to say it's nice to meet you and have a chat with you. It's always a pleasure to have supporters on the show, and it's cool. This is from all over the world, and it's really cool stuff.
Look at that. He gets all sentimental at the end.
Yeah, I like it.
I kind of do. It is cool, man. Come on.
I kind of do.
Well, you always have to be so tough and masculine, Andy.
Hey, man, listen. It's important that, like, I've got this course that I'm trying to sell people. And so I have to maintain this air of, like, just this masculinity, right? Because I have this course all about how to be a really professional internet pimp. And it's all about, you got to make the ladies fall in love with you, and then they can...
Are you emulating Andrew Tate?
Yeah,
what is this?
Yeah, he seems like a really cool guy.
Yeah, he has everything sorted out, doesn't he?
Fuck's sakes. Anyway, look, the point is this, all right? I hope you all have a lovely week. For you, the listeners out there, keep on listening to Beyond Synth, man. Every week's a new show. We listen to fun music, and if you want to be a cool guy like Emil, go get your master's degree. So, goodbye, Marko.
I'll catch you later, Andy. Thanks, mate.
And goodbye, Emil. You have a lovely Norwegian evening.
Ha det bra. Takk for meg.
Does that mean talk to you later?
Yeah, takk for meg. Thank you for having me, and speak to you soon.
Send it to me in text form so I can say it back to you.
I will.
Takk for meg og hadelbra. Hadebra.
That's good. That's perfect. 10 out of 10.
Tack for meg og hadebra.
That's good, actually. That's a Norwegian immigration level Norwegian to you right there.
Immigration.
Well, there you go. Good. I'll go to Norway. I'll fit in no time. It's gonna be great. I already know about Kroners, so.
And shipping.
Yeah,
and cats.
Yeah. So there, it's all good.
Because cats is a Norwegian thing, but yeah.
Yes. Well, look, man, listen, have a lovely day. Keep on being cool. Everybody out there, you keep on being cool. And to everybody in Norway, tack for meg og hadebra. Og hadebra. Bra.
Good job, brah.
Beyond Synth Radio is produced by Andy Last. Check the show notes for more information on the musicians featured on the show. Beyond Synth is made possible by listeners like you. Consider supporting Beyond Synth at patreon.com/BeyondSynth. Thanks for listening.